All right, well, the next one we're going to talk about is a classic.
Yes.
The tampon. So some people can find it really difficult to insert a tampon, especially if it's your first time. You might get really anxious and nervous and your muscles can tense up.
Yes.
And because the vagina is a big muscle, your vagina can get very tense as well, which makes it really, really difficult to insert the tampon properly.
Yes.
Yeah. So we don't want to hurt ourselves, do we?
No.
No. So we want to make sure that we're nice and relaxed and calm when we're thinking about putting a tampon in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jess, tell me, what's a tampon?
Tampon is sort of a little version of a pad, but you put it in the vagina.
Yeah.
And you have to make sure the string is outside
Yep.
so you can pull it out.
So there's one on the table here. Do you want to hold it up for me? Just the white one.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so the tampon.
Yes.
So we have the cotton tampon here, and then we have the string that Jess was talking about. So the string makes it easy for us to remove the tampon after it's full.
Yep.
And the tampon's made of cotton, and you insert it up through the vagina. So some people might feel easier putting their leg up on the toilet to be able to insert it properly.
Okay.
Some people might use a little bit of lubricant on the tip of the tampon to make it go up easier. Did you know about that? No, there's a handy tip for you.
Wow.
Okay, so the tampon stays inside for, depending on how heavy your flow is, it might be between 4 to 8 hours before it gets full. And when the tampon is full, when you're sitting on the toilet, you pull the string and it should come right out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then how do you get rid of a tampon?
You don't throw it, you put it in the sanitary bin.
Okay, can I flush it down the toilet?
No, you can't.
Okay, because if we flush it down the toilet, it might block the toilet, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
it
and
does.
That's not fun.
No. No.
Okay, so when you are cleaning up after you've taken your tampon out, you'll see sometimes in the women's toilets or the accessible toilets, there will be a bin next to the toilet.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's what Jess is talking about with the sanitary bin, right?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you take your tampon out, wrap it in some toilet paper, and then pop it in that sanitary bin.
Correct.
If you're at home and you're changing your tampon, or if you're at the shops or somewhere where there is no sanitary bin, that's okay.
Yeah.
You can still wrap it in some paper and then pop it in the nearest bin that you find.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
So what are some of the good things about tampons?
The blood gets trapped there and it stays longer.
Yeah. So you can wear a tampon for between 4 to 8 hours and it will absorb the blood. And it will stay inside. So you should be able to have a few hours of no leaks with a tampon. Can you think of any other good things?
The tampon is good because it stays in place in the vagina.
Yeah, so as we've said before, your vagina is a big muscle.
Yes.
So the muscle keeps the tampon in place.
Yep.
So sometimes, and we'll talk about this with pads, they can move around a little bit,
Yes.
whereas a tampon stays in place.
I just had a thought. Do you
Yeah.
like swimming?
I love swimming, Jess.
So is that good with tampons?
Yeah, tampons are great when you want to go swimming because it holds everything inside so you don't get any leaks while you're swimming. So Jess, do you think everybody really likes to use tampons?
Not everybody. I think some cultures don't feel comfortable wearing it.
Yeah.
The tampons.
Yeah, and that's okay. So it can feel a bit invasive because it is something that needs to be inserted into the vagina. So if you don't feel comfortable with that, that's perfectly okay. Yeah, and just one last thing. We talked about this a little bit with the cups. How easy do you think it is for someone with a disability to insert a tampon?
Well, it depends on their motor skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what does that mean?
Oh, their hands, maybe they won't be able to do it themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if some people have issues moving their hands or their legs in a way that makes it easy for them to insert a tampon, then that might be not such a good choice for them. It can be really difficult. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's why it's important for us to talk about all of the different products, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So just sometimes people assume that people with disability can't use tampons. Do you think that's right?
No.
Yeah. So while it might be difficult, how do you think it can be easier for people to learn?
To have someone train with them, or
Yep.
a little booklet with pictures to make
Yeah.
it easier.
Yeah, things like
Yeah.
social stories,
Yeah.
checklists, having someone support you while you're learning. Those can all be really good ways to teach someone how to use a tampon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So as with everything, practice makes perfect, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Cool.